Some U.S. states, including New Jersey, are now allowing gamblers to bet online in a bid to boost profits beyond the traditional brick-and-mortar casinos. But what will the new online games legislation mean for casinos in Atlantic City, the U.S. East Coast's internationally renowned gambling resort destination? CCTV's Liling Tan takes a look.
It's Texas Hold'em Poker from my Facebook page, and I've just won a few dollars. Beginner's luck on my part, but virtual gaming could be a real win for Atlantic City's beleaguered gaming industry.
There's been no part of the gaming industry anywhere in the world, certainly not in the United States, that's been as negatively impacted by the economy and some other things that have been a drag as Atlantic City. So anything that can be done to help Atlantic City and to deliver to the bottom line of the companies is very, very critical and very important.
A recently approved New Jersey law restricts online gaming to existing land-based casinos. There is a worry that online access would cannibalize local casinos if players opt to stay home rather than play here, chip in hand, and experience the full range of what casino resorts have to offer. When it comes to the full resort experience, Atlantic City has several things going for it. But one of the big bonuses is that just 50 feet from where casinos line the boardwalk, we have the beach. Caesars Entertainment Corporation runs 4 out of a dozen casinos in Atlantic City. The company believes the full resort experience includes beachfront properties, restaurants, the accommodation, the attention it pays to guests from near and far, and of course, its signature bathhouses. But the online and on-site casinos do not have to be mutually exclusive, according to Caesars.
I think you can drive tourism visits to Atlantic City through an integrated experience, such as offers. So you could have hosted live tournaments on properties as a result of our WSOP brand, World Series of Poker brand, and make that an integrated experience. So I accumulate my hours and perhaps I play against others to improve on a tier, and then the grand finale is at a property.
Online gaming legislation is still in its early stages, but the hope is that it will generate business here in Atlantic City and boost New Jersey's casino tax collection by 85%. The gaming industry has its eye on how the law will play out and how it will be regulated. But for now, Atlantic City casinos are betting that the odds are in their favor. Liling Tan, CCTV, Atlantic City, New Jersey.
And joining us now from Las Vegas, Nevada, with more on what the future holds for the online gaming industry is Jeff Voyles, visiting professor at San Diego State University. Jeff, thanks for joining us tonight. Let's get straight into it. New Jersey, the third U.S. state to approve online gambling. Several other states are weighing some kind of online gambling legislation, including Massachusetts, California, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Mississippi. Looks like we're seeing the beginning of a trend here. How long before we see more states join the race?
Well, we sure are. We're seeing some unprecedented growth here, and we have to see it as a patchwork of states that are trying to implement a new product that exists in their state as we know of it. And so we're looking at an expansion the same way that the land-based casinos expanded. There was Las Vegas and there was Atlantic City, and then the other states were soon to follow, except for Utah and Hawaii. So we're going to see some expansion. It's a pace that we probably didn't expect. But the first 2 or 3 are going to set the pace for us.
And do you think those states will see a big jump in revenues from online gaming?
I don't think individually they will. Yeah, I don't think individually they will. I think that they're doing this to accommodate a federal bill and a federal law that's passed, which could be far out. But we're certainly looking at states that want to get comfortable with this new product. They want to regulate it, they want to monitor it, they want to offer it, and they want to see how that works. And at one point, they're going to be able to perfect that. And when the federal legislation comes down, they'll be able to accommodate that.
Now, you speak of regulation. How will the online gaming industry be regulated? And how much do you think states will be willing to spend to regulate the industry?
Well, they're certainly going to spend what they need to spend to regulate this. And they already have regulators in place in every state. So they really have the expertise from a gambling perspective. But they also look at people that have that expertise and tap into their knowledge as well. So I think that from the knowledge from the land-based and the knowledge from the internet space, they're able to put together a product or a regulatory structure that protects the industry and protects the gambler as well.
Now, here's my question. Do people need to be physically present in the state in which they're sitting on their computer doing online gambling. And how do you regulate that?
Yeah, they certainly do. I mean, they have to be within the state borders, and the technology is there to create a border around that state to where they're tracked. There's a geo placement that says, look, they're within the state or they're outside the state. That's about 100% correct now. So the accuracy is tremendous. So it really it actually promotes the business to the point where we know that if whether or not they can step outside the state or whether or not they're across their border or inside the state. So the technology is solid in that regards. So moving forward is not an issue.
How much business is this going to take away from actual physical brick and mortar casinos?
I really don't think it is at all. I think there's an integration there that makes sense from a marketing perspective. The conversion rate from a land-based player to an online player is very low. You can't expect the people that are actually going to the casinos to gamble online as much as they do in the casino. So this is really going to be a new player search.
But what if they run out of resources? Say you maybe only have a certain amount of money to gamble with. If you choose to do it online, you may not then take the trip and do it at Caesars, for example.
You certainly can, but they would have to really target that type of guest. And I think their databases are going to prove that the conversion rate's still going to be low. But it's really their marketing efforts and their promotions and how they can take the online gambler into the casino and the casino player into the online atmosphere. So that conversion rate's going to go back and forth. And we're going to see that as it goes, whether or not that's going to be effective or not.
Now, Jeff, it wasn't too long ago that the federal government viewed online gambling as a crime, and the industry was actually chased out of the U.S. in 2006. So why are they taking a more permissive stance towards the industry, and why now?
Well, because their opinion now is that the Wire Act applies to sports betting. So they were able to look at a state-by-state approval process and whether or not they can pass the law in each state. So it was pushed down to the state level. And there's a lot of open-ended discussion around that and whether or not they can survive in a state-to-state environment, the industry itself. So the federal government has really stepped away for a moment, and they're going to have to reorganize and realize whether or not they can move forward on some type of a federal law. I'm not sure if that's anywhere in the near future, but the states aren't waiting for that. They have the opportunity to move forward, and they're doing that.
Okay, thanks so much for that insight. Jeff Voyles joining us live from Nevada. Jeff Voyles, visiting professor at San Diego State University.